Have you ever wondered why people who seem to have less than you end up in amazing relationships, while you, despite being wonderful, remain single? Why that friend of yours who always complains has already found someone, while you, who invest so much in self-knowledge and personal growth, are still waiting for love to arrive? The truth is, there's something much deeper at play than you might think. It's not about your looks, it's not about your career success, and it's definitely not because you aren't good enough or are too difficult. What's really happening are invisible energetic blocks that build a barrier between you and the love you crave. Today, I'm going to reveal the main energy blocks that are sabotaging your relationships without you even realizing. We'll uncover together why the universe seems to be conspiring against your love life, and, most importantly, how to shatter these patterns once and for all. If you watch until the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to align yourself energetically with true love and stop repeating the same frustrating cycles. Because I'm sure you deserve far more than you've been receiving. And today, we're going to tune your frequency to attract exactly that. The most common and most dangerous block: unconscious self-devaluation. You might think, oh, but I love myself. I work on my self-esteem. But let me tell you something that will shock you. There's a huge difference between consciously saying you love yourself and truly feeling you deserve love at the deepest level of your soul. Often, our conscious mind says one thing, but our subconscious, the part that really shapes our reality, is programmed with completely opposite beliefs. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself thinking, if he really knew me, he wouldn't want me, or I'm just too complicated, or maybe I'm destined to be alone? These thoughts don't come out of nowhere. They're echoes of deep emotional wounds that generate a vibration of unworthiness around you. The universe can't give you something you don't truly believe you deserve. It's like you're asking for love with your lips, but energetically rejecting it with your heart. That creates a confusing, contradictory vibration that either pushes people away or attracts relationships that reinforce that limiting belief. You know those times when you meet someone great, but suddenly mysterious problems start to arise? Or when you finally find someone promising, but something always goes wrong at the end? That's not bad luck. That's your self-devaluation. Energy triggering unconscious sabotage to protect you from the pain of rejection. As long as you carry this vibration of I'm not enough, the universe will keep sending you experiences that confirm it. The universe doesn't judge whether your beliefs are good or bad. It simply responds to the energy you emit. And if your energy says, I don't deserve it, it will answer, okay, got it. The vulnerability block. Now let's talk about a block that's almost universal, yet few people recognize in themselves: the fear of vulnerability. Here, I need you to be brutally honest with me. How many times have you built emotional walls so high that even you can't climb them? You know what I mean, right? The tendency to always stay in control, to never show your weaknesses, to maintain a strong, independent front, even when inside your heart is screaming for connection and care. It may feel like protection, but it's actually the most subtle and destructive block of all. The fear of vulnerability is born from old wounds, maybe a betrayal, an abandonment, a rejection that scarred your soul so deeply that you promised yourself, I'll never let anyone have that much power over me again. And so you crafted an emotional armor so sophisticated that you don't even notice wearing it anymore. But here's the truth that will change your perspective forever. True love demands vulnerability. There's no deep connection without the courage to show who you really are. Your imperfections, your fears, your scars, and all of your raw, beautiful humanity. When you shut down, you're not shielding yourself from the wrong love. You're blocking love itself. Think of your past relationships. How many times did you feel like you were playing a role? How many times did you hold back your emotions, your true desires, your deepest needs for fear of appearing needy or intense? That's not authenticity. That's emotional performance. And you know what happens when you live in constant performance? You attract people who fall in love with your mask, not with you. Then, when the relationship deepens and you inevitably need to reveal your true self, everything falls apart. Not because you aren't lovable, but because they never truly knew you. The universe is waiting for you to lower your defenses so it can send someone who loves exactly who you are, not who you pretend to be. But as long as you keep those energetic walls up, you'll continue to attract superficial relationships or emotionally unavailable partners, because they're the only ones capable of connecting with the limited intimacy you allow. The family and ancestral programming block. Now I need to tell you about a block so deep that many people don't even imagine it exists. Family and ancestral programming. Have you ever stopped to consider that you might be carrying relationship patterns that aren't even yours? Let me ask you something that will spark deep reflection. What were your parents' relationships like? And your grandparents? Were they relationships filled with true love, or were they based on convenience, suffering, emotional dependence, or constant conflict? Because here's a shocking truth. We energetically inherit the relational patterns of our entire family line. As Carl Jung said, what is not brought to consciousness returns as destiny. This applies perfectly to family patterns. If your mother was in toxic relationships, if your grandmother settled for crumbs of affection, if the women in your family history chose emotionally unavailable men, this all gets recorded in your energetic field as normal. It's not your fault. You were born into that relational frequency. But now, as a conscious woman, you have the power to break these cycles that have repeated for generations. Because until you recognize and clear those ancestral programs, you'll keep repeating the same patterns without understanding why. Have you ever found yourself in relationship situations that mirror exactly what you saw growing up? Or making romantic choices that unconsciously sabotage you the same way your mother or other female relatives were sabotaged? That's not coincidence. That's active energetic programming. There's a concept in transpersonal psychology that says we're guardians of our lineage's unhealed wounds. Every toxic pattern you break, every destructive cycle you interrupt, doesn't just heal you. It heals your entire family line, past and future. You become a cycle breaker, a woman who consciously chooses to write a new love story for her family. But for that to happen, you must first recognize which inherited patterns are silently operating in your life. You need the courage to look at the relationships that shaped you and decide, this ends here, with me. Because you didn't come into this world to repeat past pain. You came to transcend it and create something entirely new. Now I'm going to tell you a true story that perfectly illustrates this next block. I met an amazing woman, let's call her Anna, who was doing everything right. She meditated daily, went to therapy, took care of her appearance, and had a brilliant career. Yet she came to me devastated because, despite all her personal work, she kept attracting the same frustrating types of relationships. When we dug deeper, I uncovered something revealing. Anna had such a detailed mental checklist of her ideal man that it had become an energetic prison. She knew exactly how he should look, what profession he should have, how he should behave on a first date, even when he should declare his feelings. And do you know what happened? Any man who didn't fit that rigid mold was instantly discarded, sometimes before they even had a real conversation. What Anna didn't realize was that her need for control was completely blocking the natural flow of love. She was so focused on how love should arrive that she lost all ability to recognize it when it appeared in an unexpected package. Picture this everyday scene you might recognize. A woman sits in her favorite cafe, discreetly scanning every man who walks in, making a split-second mental judgment. Too short, doesn't look wealthy, not my type. Meanwhile, right beside her, a kind man is gathering the courage to say hello, but she doesn't even notice because she's too busy searching for her perfect version of love. The universe has a peculiar sense of humor. The tighter you clutch the outcome in your fist, the more it slips through your fingers. True love rarely arrives gift-wrapped in the way we expect. Sometimes it comes in the form of someone who seems ordinary at first glance, but carries an extraordinary soul. Other times, it shows up at moments we'd never plan. Remember Anna? Months after working through this block, she met the love of her life while standing in line at the supermarket on an ordinary Tuesday, wearing pajamas, buying ice cream after a terrible day at work. He was nothing like her checklist demanded, yet the connection between them was instant and genuine. She told me, if I'd met him 6 months earlier, I wouldn't have given him a chance. Clinging to specific results creates desperate, anxious energy that repels exactly what we want to attract. It's like you're broadcasting, I need, instead of I'm open, I trust, I allow. And love, my dear, only blooms in soil of trust and openness, not in territory of control and desperation. The deepest block, disconnection from your own heart. Now we've arrived at the deepest and perhaps hardest to acknowledge block, disconnection from your own heart. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you truly stopped to feel what your heart was asking for, without judgment, without rationalizing, without trying to fix or improve what you were feeling? We live in a culture that taught us to trust our minds more than our hearts. We were told emotions are irrational, that feelings are nonsense, that we must always think with our heads. Over the years, we've gradually disconnected from our own emotional essence, our intuitive wisdom, our capacity to feel what is true for us. Can you tell the difference between what your mind thinks you should want and what your heart genuinely desires? Can you distinguish the love you believe is right from the love that truly makes your soul vibrate? Because too often, we chase relationships that look good on paper but make no sense to our hearts. Think of those intimate moments with yourself, maybe lying in bed before sleep, showering, or walking alone. In those moments of silence, what kind of love does your heart whisper that it wants? Not the love you think you should want. Not the one your parents approved of. Not the love your friends have. But the love that makes your eyes light up just thinking about it. Disconnection from your heart creates one of the subtlest yet most devastating blocks. You stop radiating your true loving essence. Your heart is like an emotional magnet. When it's open and connected, it naturally draws people who resonate with your authentic frequency. But when it's closed, guarded, or cut off, you emit a neutral, almost robotic energy that doesn't spark real passion in anyone. How many times have you left a date thinking, it was nice, but there was no chemistry? Or noticed that people see you as a great friend, but never as a breathtaking romance? It's not about your looks or personality. It's about how much of yourself you truly allow to be seen and felt. When you reconnect with your heart, magic happens. You stop attracting love through performance and start attracting love through presence. People feel your emotional authenticity like an irresistible magnetic field. They can't explain why, but they feel deeply touched by your energy, because at last you're shining with who you really are. Your heart carries your unique energetic signature of love. No one else in the world can love the way you love, with the intensity you feel, with the depth you offer. But you can only share that magic when you're truly connected to it. The universe is waiting for you to come home, to the home of your own heart, so it can deliver the love that perfectly matches who you are. Final thoughts. So, my dear, we've reached the end of this deep journey of self-discovery. I hope you now understand that not finding your love yet has nothing to do with you not being enough, beautiful, or interesting. It's all about those invisible energetic blocks that silently stood between you and the love you deserve. Let's recap what we've uncovered today. Unconscious self-devaluation, which makes you broadcast, I'm unworthy. Fear of vulnerability, building walls where bridges should be. Family and ancestral programming, repeating patterns that aren't even yours. Attachment to control, blocking love's natural flow. Disconnection from your heart, preventing you from radiating your true magnetic essence. But here's the most beautiful part. Now that you know, you can change. Every block we bring to light loses its power over us. Every pattern we shine awareness on can be transformed. You are not condemned to repeat these cycles forever. You have the power to rewrite your love story, starting right now. The love you seek is not lost in the world. It's waiting for you to align with it energetically. And it begins today, with the courage to look within, clear these blocks, and consciously choose to broadcast the frequency of the love you want to receive. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these blocks resonated most with your story? Leave a comment, sharing your biggest insight from this video. Your words might be exactly what another woman needs to recognize herself and start her own transformation. If this content touched your heart and you feel it could help other women going through the same journey, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And if you want more videos that guide you to manifest true love in your life, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Remember, you are not destined for solitude. You are destined for an extraordinary love. And now you hold the keys to unlock it in your life. See you in the next video.